And welcome to the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. Time to blast through some more data. So starting out with magnetic data, here's the readings from the GO 16 and 17. Here are the readings from the GO 16 and 17. And here's the current sheet. There is a North Pole current sheet, which is we might find it to be delayed here. This may not arrive as quickly as it looks like it's going to arrive. But in any case, that's the National Sunspot Observatory data from ground-based magnetometers and magnetometers on Stereo B. Stereo B's magnetometer still works, even though most, if not all, of the imaging does not. And there's your line of sight solar magnetogram. Here's the coronal hole plot with the B field. Looks like a North Pole oriented transequatorial coronal hole there rotating in. And we are expecting an intensification of the solar wind speed at any moment, really. As the coronal hole wind from this coronal hole right here has not been all that significant. So again, we have a new sunspot forming right here. It is beta class. Radial flux has gone up a little bit. Let's take a look at sunspots. This time we're using the SDO. We've got it zoomed out so you can see the time and date stamps. And we put the sunspots in the magnetic section of the video because they are magnetic features. So mostly degradation going on at the moment. The formation of this new sunspot here, it is a beta class sunspot, so this could produce significant flares. Don't be surprised to see C-class flares. Don't be surprised to see M-class flares as some of these other sunspots get toward the limb. Also, this group up here still has some potential. Really, they've all got some potential. And we'll have to look at CMEs. There were some spectacular CMEs. We're going to show that momentarily. So here's the 94 angstrom view. It's great for showing solar flares. No major flares here over the past 24 hours. Probability is high for at least M-class flares, I would say. Probability is high. Lots of sunspots. As many as 7 group. Oh, that one's not named yet, so that's going to be 2933. Sunspot 2933 will be that new one. It is already beta class. So there's the X-ray flux, some C-class intensifications here in the past 24. No spikes in the proton flux in the last 24 hours. Real-time solar wind showing a little minor coronal mass ejection spike right in here. See the density dropping down there suddenly. Something like a CME strike would do that. Sort of an interruption in the coronal hole high-speed stream, which is actually starting to wane here. I would expect to see a second intensification from this coronal hole. I don't think the coronal hole situation is done yet, but there was some geomagnetic storm here in the past 24, just a short period there of a KP5. We informed the SMASH team. Here's 4 hours of the geospace. The last 4 hours, please note the time and date stamps. Fairly high pressure here in the plasma spheres. Starting to relax here with the waning of the coronal hole wind speed. Here's the magnetic moment from the ground. Significant ground magnetic perturbations here. More aurora likely over Canada. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. We regularly retweet. Twitter.com/smashomash. Next, a forecast for the solar system. It's full moon tomorrow, I think. Here's where things will be in 1 week. Mercury making a pass here. And here's your star chart. This is what's going on over my head. If you want to make your own, go to in-the-sky.org, put your location in, and click All Sky Charts. That's the one I'm using. We like it for these videos, so we've also drawn in the galactic plane, which is the blue line, and the names of certain stars. I don't know why they leave out Deneb. Did you know Göbekli Tepe is oriented toward Deneb? Did you know that our forum has a thread entirely about that particular high-mass X-ray binary? smAsho.com/forum. And let's look at the spectacular coronal mass ejections that have happened from the perspective of Lagrange 1 and Lagrange 5, stereo A at Lagrange 5, and the LASCO C3 at Lagrange 1. Check it out. It looks like a phoenix's talon. And you can see the great perspective from the different instruments here. Just spectacular CMEs. If there is an earthly component to these, it's not expected to be major. Most of it expected to miss well off to the northwest, as I believe we said in yesterday's video. A minor bit of the ejecta could be earthly in orientation. You can see a little bit of ejecta on the southern portion of the coronagraph here, the LASCO C3, but the majority of it certainly off to the northwest. Pretty interesting. Make sure you check out our cosmology segments if you haven't. By the way, that star field back there, the brightest star, way over there on the other side of the screen, that's Deneb, the tail of the swan. The brightest, the most intrinsically bright object visible from our solar system. Anyway, time to end this video. Thanks for tuning in. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. smAsho, signing off from the Smash News Network, least busted. Name it news.